Good morning, Haps. Good morning, Haps. Good morning, Haps. Richard Roberts here on the Haps. Wishing you all a good morning on this April 14, 2021. Current time is 05:41 a.m. Eastern Time here in the southern tier of upstate New York, where I live and reside. And good morning to you all. And what's up, bro? To Alex coming in. Alex 5K coming in from the Twitch side. We have some people. We have an individual from the Twitch side. Good morning. How we all doing? Getting our day started here. Wednesday, hump day. We're halfway through the week and working towards that weekend, recognizing we got 4 on the eyeball right out of the gate. So we are a success. If I get 1 or 2, that I consider that a success. And left or right hand golf. And Helga, good morning, Helga. Helga coming in from Amsterdam. And I do have the morning coffee, and it's tasting mighty fine. And it's a great way. This is part of the positive way of starting a day, as well as me posting hello from the southern tier of upstate. Good morning, all in Tioga County. That's a county I live here in New York State, and the southern tier of upstate New York, as well as broadcasting on Haps, having fun, hashtag positive start to the day, hashtag PSTTD, and then live life and have fun, because that's what it's all about, is having fun, and that's exactly what I'm doing here on the Haps. And again, another hashtag positive start to the day, hashtag PSTTD. Try and get the morning started each day with to be on an even keel. And part of that routine for me is coming here on the Haps. Sure, a little time, about 30 minutes here. Is been doing this for a while now here on the Haps. We're in our, our 105th day, 4th day, somewhere. We're pushing through our 11th week of consecutive morning broadcasts. I don't call them show, they're broadcasts. I have a little format here. I'll give you a thought for the day. We'll get to that. But first, the weather here in the southern tier of upstate New York. It's currently 42 degrees Fahrenheit. Overcast, slightly chance of rain, shower, high 66 degrees. Okay, wind southwest, out of the southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Yesterday was fantastic. It was a fantastic day. I had some training. And the training I had to do was outdoors, and you couldn't ask for a better day. Great day. I mean, the training went quite well. Very well. The sun will be rising this morning at 06:27, which is in about 42 minutes. About that's it. 30, 40. Yeah, about 42 minutes or so. 45 minutes. Thereabouts. And let's see. Good morning, Fire Beast from MG. Okay, I'm not a fire beast. I'm a retired firefighter. I don't fight the fires anymore. I observe them from the armchair. Actually, I listen to the progression of several fire companies on the radio, and I don't do that anymore. I've been out of that for, what's it now? Been out of the Air Force. I was an Air Force firefighter for 20 some years, and I've been out of that for 24 years, but I was a volunteer for 15 years after that. And I hung up my helmet and bunker coat, probably almost 8 years ago, about thereabouts. But sun will be setting at 7:46 p.m., so should have a good day. Again, recognizing 6 on the eyeball there, and we got Helga saying hello from Amsterdam, which we greatly appreciate. Helga, a great broadcaster here on Haps. Very, very good broadcaster as far as she's part of the Haps family here. I've subscribed to her. I encourage you listening to subscribe to her. and catch her broadcasts. She's got some great people there, the great people here on HAPS, and those people that are over there, I'm broadcasting over on Twitch, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, which I got to see if that's up. I think that is up. Twitter Live, and then 2 Facebooks. You need to come over to HAPS and check out Helga and her broadcasts. Let's see if we're on Twitter Live. The thing about Twitter Live is you got to manually input it. So as the intro music is going on, that's one of the things I'm doing that I add to my repertoire. Let's make sure I mute that so we don't get a double bleed of sound and the like. So, but let's see. Is it coming up? Well, it's probably because I got the HAPS run. I should put it on the. Let's go ahead and put that back over here, and we'll do it on the. We don't want to clog up the HAPS. You get too many tabs open on your browser. It doesn't want to work. So let's put this on the Surface 3. Like in Surface 3, I got to look at the Surface 3 this weekend. It's running a little cloggy. And as far as that goes, I think I got to take some stuff off that I don't use anymore, because I use it to monitor the show here as far as that goes. And let's see, there we go. We'll bring that up. But along with me saying good morning and having the morning coffee with you all, I bring a thought to the day, a daily thought for the day. And I post that over on Twitter, my Twitter handle being @FiremanRich. Matter of fact, if you just Google @FiremanRich on Google, you'll see where I'm at on all these fine social media networks. And let's see, do I got the thought for the day? Yeah. I'm not sure if I looked at this one and I'm like, did I do this one before? I don't know. It's from Henry Ford, the great car innovator. And I won't say inventor because there was a lot of people invented, but he invented, he is most noted for the mass production line, as far as the assembly line and stuff, as far as efficiency. And I like efficiency. But I like this quote, and it's a thought for the day, something to think about is don't find fault, find a remedy. It's easy to find fault. I don't know if it's as hard. It's probably hard to look, but you need to find a remedy. So basically, it's easy to complain. Just find something to take care of the issue that's at hand, as far as the takeaway from Henry Ford's thought up for today. Give you something to think about. It's a positive thing as far as it, because what's the saying? And I said this the other day. It takes only a few muscles to make a smile, but it takes a whole bunch of them to make a frown, as far as that goes. And it's when you deal with issues in a positive way, or try to at least, because sometimes I have my faults. Believe me, I have my faults as far as things, and I recognize those. And I think that's helpful when you do recognize your self faults and shortfalls as far as that goes. And you try and, I'm not trying to candy coat things and stuff like that, but if you look at it in a positive way, there is a solution to the issues as far as that goes. And here we got Bug bugging us again. She's always, come on, Bug, get out of there. You're going to get tangled up in the wires there. Here, get up in your chair. There you go. That's your spot. Yeah, she has a chair right here. So like that. Oh, there she goes again. She's back up here again. Get back up there. You stay up there. Okay, or else I'm gonna get the water bottle out. You don't want that. That's the ultimate solution. If they don't like the water bottle. Okay, you stay right there. Good girl. Come on, Buggy. Come on. I can't have you under there, please. Okay? Come on. Hup, hup. Go. There we go. The ultimate solution would chase her off. And she comes back. Oh, you stinker. You stay right there. Lay down. Lay down. You want the pets. I know. She always wants the pets. Okay, there she goes. I took care of There we go. Good example. Live stream. We had we, we had an issue with bug. We have that the issue could be the fault, which it's taken care of. I know you're just waking up here in the morning, and I'm just trying to get woke up. So there's our thought and something to think about this morning as far as that goes. That's good. So let's see. I also like to bring an interesting story, and this is a very interesting story because I talk about some positive news, an interesting story, something that interests me that hopefully interests you. And the reason for that is everybody knows what the crap news is, okay? As far as that goes, the crap news being the mainstream media and stuff like that. They bring, I just say, I'm a little hesitant about today's journalism compared to years back, as far as maybe it's because we're overloaded and stuff, but I like to bring a good story, a good news article, or something positive. And this is something very positive because I've talked about this before, and there's math and science to prove that this is a solution. You know, we have an issue, but we have a remedy as far as that goes. And that is this news article is about Saudi Arabia plans to plant 50 billion trees and reduce carbon emissions by 60%. That's a big issue right now that I guess it crops up to be major news, and then it goes away and then it comes back depending on, you know, what celebrities are talking about. But it is an issue that we have an overabundance of carbon in the air that we need to get rid of. And what better way of getting rid of that than the natural way? And that is plant more trees. And the science shows we plant more trees on this big blue marble we live on, the carbon reduces because the trees suck up all the carbon. And then we burn it, and then we put the carbon back up in the atmosphere. But in Saudi Arabia, this is something that probably interests Randy W. Horton, who's a broadcaster, a very great and good individual here on HAPS that broadcasts. And instead of him going out chasing the camels, maybe we can watch him plant some trees. But again, Saudi Arabia plans on planting 50 billion trees. I've talked about this before a number of times. I think I got to go back to my Get Vocal broadcast to see if I can replay that broadcast, because I think that's where I talk about the math concerning this, and it intrigued me. That's when I started getting on, and I guess it's coming up on Earth Day. Well, it's not Earth Day anymore. I saw the commercial. Instead of Earth Day, it's Earth Week. I can remember the very first Earth Day. I was in 6th grade in elementary school. We planted a tree. That was a very, very good memory. And Grace, hello, Grace. Hi there. Good morning. Good morning. Grace is gracing us here this morning as far as that goes. And you probably get that a lot, don't you? You know, as far as your Grace is gracing our presence here, coming in from New Delhi, India. And India is another country that's doing this, because I've done an article about there's many countries around the world, even here in the United States, they're doing a plant a tree initiative. This one is about Saudi Arabia, where Saudi officials have announced a massive initiative aimed at protecting the Middle East from climate change. And one of those is planting the trees. Now, when you think of Saudi Arabia, I always joke around when Randy W. Horton there comes in and he broadcasts saying he's coming in from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and I call it the sandbox, because our impression of that area is there's a lot of deserts, and there is a lot of deserts. Matter of fact, he was driving around the desert feeding the camels last weekend. But home is some of the world's largest, driest, and hottest. Let's see. Hope you're well. Did you ever see Zodiac Glow? No, we were. It's cloudy. It's cloudy. I did. You know, here's something interesting before we continue. Last night before going to bed, I saw the. I wish it was so quick. It only lasted for a couple minutes. The final ring of the moon. There was just a little bit of a sliver. I saw that, but there was clouds out, so I didn't get a chance. We talked about that the other morning. So thank you for bringing that to into the comments there, Grace. Appreciate that. But it's something, I always like looking up at the sky. So that's something maybe in the future. If I see it, I'll report it. Let's see. Some Saudi officials, again, they announced this initiative and home to some of the world's largest, driest, and hottest shifting sand deserts. Saudi Arabia is a unique place to suffer from the rising global temperatures, as are their Gulf neighbors. Let's see. Amazing to see that what Israel did to turn their deserts into green. Yes, and Saudi Arabia is doing that too. I mentioned Israel. Israel's another country. Saudi is doing it. Turkey, I believe I talked about Turkey. All over Europe. Okay, here in the United States, but it's a news article that doesn't really get a lot of traction until the issue comes. Oh, we got to get rid of all the we are reducing the carbon around this world, and this is one of the ways we're doing it. The Green Saudi and Green Middle East initiative aim to take the crown of the world's largest tree planting effort, 50 billion across the Arabian Arab states, as well as efforts at home to more than double the size of the kingdom's protected area and create enormous drive for green energy that will reduce global carbon emissions by 8% and domestic emissions by 60%. Actually aware that their wealth is derived from fossil fuels, the initiatives are seeking to create 50% green energy by the end of the decade. And we're seeing that now. We're seeing that in our commercials here in the United States of America. GMC, they've got a major commercial out where they're going full bore with electric cars and stuff like that, which is another initiative there. As the leading global oil producer, we are fully aware of our responsibilities in advancing the fight against the climate crisis. I'm not sure if I would say climate issue. I don't like the word crisis. Right now we're in a crisis. We got a pandemic. That's a crisis. This is a concerning issue that could become a major crisis down the line if we don't mitigate it now. And that's what we need to do, mitigate it with planting more trees. And that just as we play a leading role in stabilizing energy markets during the oil and gas era, we will work to lead the coming green era, said Saudi officials. That was in the Arab News. I'll put an article up concerning this as far as and I like doing that, talking about it here and then putting a news article up on my HAPS timeline. For those folks that are over there on Twitch, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, and Facebook, you're going to have to come over to haps.tv/@Richard Roberts as far as that goes to see that article. Domestically, let's see. Great. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Grace. Thank you. Amazing. Okay. Yeah. Great. Okay. I'm just trying to keep up with the comments as I'm reading the article because the people that are here in the comments, you are very important. And I'm recognized. We've got 11 on the eyeball. Let's see. Domestically, Saudi Arabia has suffered from desertification and deliberating dust storms mixed with low rainfall, draping their cities in greenery and using artificial weather creation to increase rainfall will be paired with efforts to revive iconic Arabian wildlife and to raise existing protected deserts and marine ecosystems to 30% of the country's sovereign territory. And across the board, Middle East, Saudi Arabia plan to help nations install more modern and effective hydrocarbon technologies that will cut back on emissions. More detail on the specific methods and strategies of the program will be announced next year. This is just the beginning, officials added. The kingdom, the region, and the world at large need to move forward. I agree with this. Move forward at an accelerating pace in the fight against climate change. And climate is changing, but it's more than on the carbon side. I think the carbon side, that's the big nugget of the article that we're trying to mitigate. Let's see, Grace, our landscapes are turning into dry deserts and our air pollution is deadly. Evident here in India. Yeah. And that's probably mostly in the metropolitan areas. I would say, Grace. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you get out in the rural areas, the air pollution is probably a lot less because you don't have the motor vehicles that are there. I think I saw that. I just go back to when I visited Greece, Athens, when I was in the Air Force. When I first joined the Air Force, I had a chance to go to Athens for a week and a half. And the one thing about Athens is it was very, very polluted. You could see the haze, and it just reminded me so much of New York City ×2 because all the road traffic, cars were there in Athens. And when the race I ran, I was on the Air Force Base running team. That the air base I belonged to, I was on the cross country team there. The running team, I guess. It was a half marathon we ran. When we went outside Athens to run back into Athens, it was a 13-mile run back into the Athens. And it was along the route of the original marathon. Matter of fact, it was pretty dry and hot, but the air quality was a lot better once you got outside the city limits and stuff. But once you came into it, it's like, wow, you're breathing heavy and you had all this crap in the air. So, but I think overall, pollution levels have come down to a certain degree that we can do better. The main thing right now is the carbon. And there's science showing that countries are doing their part. It's not coming drastically down, but it's coming down. Sort of like COVID. COVID, we want it to come drastically down, but it's gradually coming down here. But then there's pockets of the world like our neighbors to the north in Canada. From what Michael Bathurst, who's another broadcaster here, has told us, they're locked down for a third or fourth time. And I'm like, wow, we're here in the States, we're not really locked down. Of course, yesterday it came out with the news that the Pfizer one-shot vaccine, the FDA is holding because they've had several blood clot issues and I think it's similar to the vaccine over there in the UK. That's a different vaccine. I think that's the Oxford study vaccine. I'm not sure what company, but it's the one that derived from the Oxford study in the UK. But the Pfizer, they've administered something like 600 million doses, but they have like a handful of blood clots. So Bjorn from Holland, hello, good morning. How you doing? And we're glad to see you here. Bjorn, another broadcaster who does the 3D printing, which is very interesting. And he's saying hey to Grace, and he's an individual that pops in here in the morning, and we're glad to see him. Great to see you, sir. And we're talking about the planting of trees and how it benefits this world. Thanks, my friend. Yeah, you're welcome. Very much welcome. Thank you, sir, for being here. We're talking about the Saudi Arabia plans to plant 50 billion trees and reduce their carbon emission over by 60%. Grace, air quality during lockdown last year improved. Government is giving incentives to purchase electric vehicles, and no vehicle older than 10 years may be on the road. Good measures. And Beyond says that's good news. And I think that's going to be the standard. You're going to see a lot of these vehicles, not necessarily in the state. I think the states will be the last one because we like our freaking fossil fuels, I think, as much as minorities are against it and stuff like that. But it's a cleaner, compared to the fuels that we were burning back in the 60s and 70s. I mean, they're a lot more efficient. So, and I've said this before, in industry here in the United States, there is, I know this for a fact, there is tighter controls on the emissions from these factories here compared to overseas factories. They have scrubbers that I mean, the stuff that comes out of the factory after they go through these air scrubbers are very minuscule as far as pollution in the air. Even on our cars with the emission systems that they have. But we can do better as far as moving to electric cars, which I think the technology there, and I'm always one for the technology is there. Let's move forward and use that technology because it's only going to better and enhance our presence here on this blue marble. Beyond, there are so many alternatives to invent and to invest. We are all stuck in the 50s. I don't know if we're really stuck in we may be, I think we're more in like the 80s because I just look at the fact, and I've talked about this before, Grace, the Tata Group here are planting 1 million trees around the manufacturing plant in the city called Pune. Good start. Yes, we have to start somewhere, Grace. But getting back to Beyond's, I think we're moving forward because gas should be long gone. Eventually it will, Beyond. I can see that. The writing's on the wall on that one. You know, I'm not disagreeing with that. But the use of gas, I think, has become more efficient as far as that goes. And but there's people that don't really care for it, you know, as far as and we have to use something until the alternative becomes the standard. And I think it will become the standard eventually and stuff because I'm just seeing indication. But getting back to as far as being stuck in I think we're showing some initiative because I've talked about the bird I love, the American bald eagle, the resurgence of that, the resurgence of other species that were on the brink of extinction. They're making a comeback because we humans are changing our way of doing things here. Beyond, the problem is also the long-term investment. Yeah, big companies, I think they're a stumbling block. Yes, I agree with that. They need to, but there are some companies that they're changing that perspective as far as that goes. Like I said, GM, the car company. I was just before you came in, Beyond. I was talking about a commercial series that I've been seeing of various automotive dealers here in the United States, and GM being one of them. Letting them know we're converting to electric cars. They got these kids standing on the bed of a car that has the battery, you know, and I guess you can put whatever car on there, but the main thing is it's an electric car with the battery. And it's like say a good example in Detroit is now a ghost town. Yeah, I guess I've never been to Detroit, so I don't know, you know, as far as Detroit is probably just like any other city here and stuff. It has its issues and stuff like that. But I think big companies are starting to see that, and they have to turn to grasp that initiative. And is it as fast as we'd like? No, but we're moving forward as far as, or at least there's indications of it moving forward. So we'll see. But the Saudi government, 50 billion trees, that's a lot of freaking trees. And as Grace has said, there's 1 million trees there. I think all over Europe, there's initiative plant trees. And we've come a long way since the first Earth Day, which I remember. Again, I'm not sure if you heard it, Beyond. The very first Earth Day, I was in 6th grade, and we planted a tree. I'll never forget that. And maybe that's where it all started with my tree fetish, I guess. I love trees. I had to cut down a few trees in the backyard here that I was really at odds end to, but it just became apparent if the tree didn't go, it would cause more issues and stuff like that. As far as this, we used to, when we first moved right next to this tree that you can see out the window, there was a big old golden pine out there that had to have been 75 to close to 100 years old, but it had these jutting limbs, and there was jutting limbs coming over the house, and it was just causing a lot of havoc. As far as, you know, you could cut down one limb, but the tree overall was really being a little destructive to the homestead. So I had to cut it down, and we had a big tree out back here that was encroaching on the garage and stuff like that. I live in the middle of the woods, but because of the bad state of environment, lots of them are being cut down. Yeah, but I agree with that. It's just that because of our need for wood, I guess. So that's not a good thing when that's a massive deforestation. There's some people I grew up with that they're in the lumber business here in New York State, and you'd be surprised the people that are they're in the lumber business. They're very pro replanting trees and stuff like that. I think even more so than a lot of environmentalists and stuff like that. So, but I look up at the hills, I see the woods and stuff like that, and they're always very good. Grace, trees, plants, clean water, and clean air. Could we ask for more? We all have our part to play to make this happen. Yes, I agree. Totally. And beyond. So the only thing I would is that only planting new trees isn't the solution. If we plant, just planting a few is not. But if you're planting 50 billion trees beyond, that's going to be an impact. The math shows that. The math, scientific mathematics has shown if we plant a lot of trees, it will decrease that carbon footprint as far as that goes. And that's what all these initiatives, when you got 50 billion trees, that's going to put a dent as far as they've done the math, and the emissions will cut down to 60%. But you plant the tree, you got to wait 10, 20 years for the tree to start growing, to start, so it's an investment. So is it the only solution? No, there's other solutions, but I think it's a major thing because, like I said, I got to look up. I got to try and find that broadcast I did. I agree, but what I meant, there is more to. Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, most definitely. Yes, that's correct. Yes, I agree with that totally. Beyond. Yeah, we're on the same page there and stuff. But it just we need to do things better and stuff like that. Back in the 30s and 40s, they were fighting a war. The 50s and 60s, everybody was worried about industrial growth and stuff. The 70s and 80s, everybody was getting high and getting drunk, I guess. So now we're coming to our senses here in the new century, I guess. That's a way of looking at it. So. Oh wow, I'm pushing 35 minutes. This is a good conversation. I appreciate you, Grace, and Beyond for contributing to the conversation. It's always great to be talking. It's less planes, more alternatives to public transportation with high speed. Yes, and that's Beyond. And Grace, I just read yesterday about Japan. I saw the headline. I didn't read that. I'm a little sketchy about that. Honestly, how to circumvent that. I'm wondering, because I remember when that accident happened. That's like our what was it? We had the nuclear incident here back in the 70s. Three Rivers or something like that. It makes me so sad. Yeah, I'm gonna probably look at that article today and stuff, because I saw that. I was like, what the hell are they thinking about as far as that goes? It goes back. It just reminded me of us dumping our garbage in the ocean. Yes, how can they allow to do that? I don't know. It surprises me because the Japanese government is usually very, very eco. Mel, hey, good morning. Good morning, Mel. I think Mel is in the UK. Let me see. Mel, good to see you here. We're just ending the broadcast. I'm a little over going beyond my 30-minute allotment here. We got a good discussion going on. Mel is coming in from Great Britain, the UK there. She does am I following you? Yeah, I'm following you. I'm following you, Mel. She does the poems, the nightly poems. She reads a poem, and I'm into poetry, so I do catch your I don't necessarily comment in there, but I catch your readings and stuff. So let's see, 80% of oxygen comes from water and base plants. And trees are a big contributor too. Oxygen comes from water. Oh yeah, there's oxygen in water. Okay, but water. I don't think water produces oxygen. It gets mixed up in the atmospheres and all that and stuff. But the plants actually, trees actually. Am I gurgling? I think I'm gurgling. Am I? Okay, turn the volume. Test. Did a reset anyway. So, okay, Mel. So happy to see you, like-minded, and that's great. Thank you from Mel. Thank you. Okay, folks, I'm going to have to know, but oh, yes, I agree. The algae. I agree. Definitely. Yes. Yes. I'm just trying to, it's still early beyond algae. Yeah. The plant-based, our plant-based on this blue marble does produce the oxygen. Okay, folks. Grace, Mel, Beyond, thank you very much. Yes, I have my own conversation page on Facebook. Okay. For the poems and stuff like that, which are great. I have to get going here because it's like 20 after. I'm running a little late. I always like a good conversation, and this has been a great conversation. Again, Beyond, Grace, thank you very much for contributing to the broadcast here. Great discussion. I think we're all on the same page. Unlike other people that can't. It's like, and I'll see if I can find that broadcast and stuff like that. Conversation, exactly. Yes. Thank you, Beyond. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate you being here, and also Grace there. So let me cue the outro music so I know it's time to get out of here. So again, get my day started here, and it's gotten off to a great start with some great conversation here on this broadcast. I greatly appreciate that. If you're watching this on the replay, thank you very much. As far as that goes, and those people that are listening on, watching on YouTube Live, Twitch, Facebook, you need to come over to haps.tv to get your haps going. So, and Beyond says, have a great day, all. And I say the same as far as well as have a happy haps day using apps. You all take care. I will see you in the next broadcast. Again, Grace, Beyond, thank you. Great conversation. Thumbs up to y'all. I greatly appreciate it. Y'all take care. Live life. Have fun. Ciao for now. As always, peace. Take care, folks. Thank you for the award, Beyond. Greatly appreciate it. Take care.